105.5 Hits FM. It's Taylor B along with you. And he's back in action. It is none other than my dad. Hi, Dad. How's it going?
Hey, it's me, Daddy B, back with you this week.
And you're in Ontario.
I'm in Ontario, boring old Ontario, freezing cold Ontario, frost this morning, Ontario.
It was wild. When I was driving to work, I saw some cars that were just covered in snow. And I was telling Dan, my snow brush, I don't know what I did to it, but it's broken in half. So I need to get a new one quick.
Well, that's probably everybody else is rushing out in anticipation. The other thing people will be doing is getting ready for those winter tire switchovers.
Oh, yes.
So, it's time to make your appointments and get out there. Make sure you have lots of washer fluid and snow brushes and winter tires, and let's get on with it.
All things Daddy B does not do.
Exactly.
He does everything last minute. I think last year we put on our winter tires December 15th. We were so behind.
Do as I say, not as I do. Words to live by.
That is something I do live by. Now, you are on your way to hockey, are you not?
Well, what else is new? Absolutely, on the way to hockey.
Yes, and just so everyone knows, Daddy B does work. He just typically doesn't work on Fridays, so that's why he's always at hockey when I'm trying to talk to him.
Daddy B has had a very long career and has put a lot of time in, but also understands that it's important to take that little bit of time out for supporting your kids, because he knows that it's going to be over real soon, and it's going to be a bit of a drought until I get some grandkids.
I decline to further that conversation.
Well, okay.
So you called me earlier this week because you were in need of a post-hole pounder.
Oh, yeah. Nothing better than a post-hole pounder.
Something so random, but you needed it.
I needed it, and I'll tell you something. It marvels me as I get older how, things are invented because of a need. Somebody has the idea, you know what, a sledgehammer or a hammer is a real pain in the neck trying to get this post in. What we need is a post pounder. And they come up with these ideas. I just wish I was that smart because, it was magic.
It was magic?
Mm-hmm.
That's a high compliment coming from you.
Well, it only takes, 3 or 4 kind of slugs instead of 30, things are all done. You wonder, is it really that easy? Why was it that easy? What did we do wrong? But no, greatest thing ever. Who provided us with that? Because I'll tell you, we owe them.
We do. We owe them big. So Daddy B called me, what was it, Thursday? Or Wednesday? Thursday night in a panic for a post-hole pounder. He called me right before I was going to go on air. It was maybe 2:55. And he's like, I need one of these. Can you find me one? So, of course, I called my friend Beth at Scugog Equipment Rentals, and she said, no worries, Taylor. I will have that done for you. And she had that post-hole pounder. Now, Dad, I did say on the phone, if I was going to get you a post-hole pounder, you had to do it yourself. Did you put up those posts, or did you make one of your employees do it?
Okay, so I'll tell you that it was Wednesday that I called, not Thursday. You're right, it was Wednesday. And your friends at Scugog Equipment Rentals came through in flying colors. And may I say this, everybody out there, when you're doing a job, you have to have the right tool. Do yourself a favor and visit these people, because it will cut the time that you're working on your project in half if you have the right tool, and they've got the right tool. Anyway, I did not do it myself, but I was out on site in the rain, holding the ladder and making sure that everybody was doing what they had to do properly. So, although I did not do it myself, I was highly involved and wet. So I should get some marks there anyway.
You know what? You have earned the right to be the site supervisor. I was just hoping that I could have the opportunity to make fun of you for doing it. Now, you wanted this post-hole pounder because you wanted to put up no parking signs. What's the issue there? Have people been parking in your parking spots?
Yeah, I don't appreciate. Our office is in one of these plazas with a bunch of different businesses, and some businesses have a smaller units but have a ton of people working in there. And I have 2 units, and it spans 10 or 11 parking spaces in front of my unit, but most mornings I come into work and there's no spaces because everybody else is using our spaces. So, I mean, I've been fighting a war here for about a year. It's over, so now I'm bringing out this sign and to try to make sure that people understand that these are our parking spots and you better not park there or else.
Or else you're getting towed.
Or else you're getting something because I'm legally not allowed to tow off of private property. But I can certainly do other things that I do not wish to talk about on the radio at the moment.
I was going to say do not, because you're not going to do that. Do not do that. Now let's talk about the TFC. You have been a big proponent
TFC.
of them.
You know, I got a real problem with this. You know, we all grew up in this country, and we're all hockey players and lacrosse or baseball players. There's something happening that is equally as impressive as what the Raptors did last year. This TFC, you know, if we can ever get the Leafs smartened up, we can actually be the city of champions here, because this TFC is a world-class organization that is always at the top of the MLS standings. And, you know, they had a bit of a down year last year, because they played a lot of soccer. But they are just on a roll right now, and they're going to the MLS Finals for the third time in 4 years. And everybody should get behind them. Fantastic action. The last game, get this, the last game where they knocked off Atlanta, which was unbelievable because I have lots of friends in Atlanta and I was ribbing them the whole time. It was watched by 400,000 homes, okay? Okay, so you say that's pretty good. You know, this is a world-class, or North American at least, top league. Guess what else had 400,000? You know, the third game of the year for the Raptors, also had 400,000. Are you trying to tell me that a regular season Raptor game should be viewed by as many people or less people than, or more people than MLS Finals? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
telling
rough.
everybody next week, get out there or get in front of your TVs and cheer on these guys, because there's a lot of good things happening with the Toronto FC, for sure.
And what was it that you made me rewatch 3 times last night? A goalie came out, missed the ball. Was that the FC?
No, that wasn't in that game. That was, you know, these misplays of the month. Some of these Lugans who get paid millions of dollars, and they're more worried about their pretty haircuts than they are of actually earning their money. As a matter of fact, tune in Saturday night to see a bunch of that for the Leafs when they play Philadelphia Flyers. But I digress. Hey, 50 years suffering fan of that organization, I'm allowed to be bitter.
Oh, you are, and it doesn't matter what the situation is. You're usually just leaning towards the bitter side of things.
And speaking about bitter, did you hear this, what's that woman's name there? Pamela Anderson. You know, when Pamela Anderson speaks, normally I just kind of giggle and ignore. But she said something that I think is really, really smart. So, it caught me off guard, and I was listening. You know, what do you feel about this? She thinks that prisoners in the Canadian system here, they should be fed a vegan diet.
Oh.
How do you feel about that?
Well,
I think that's brilliant. Studies have shown that a more plant-based is probably healthier, okay? But more importantly, it calms these people down. Apparently, meat-based makes them more aggressive and angry, but studies have been done with prisoners where they have been given a vegan diet, and they're more calm, and they're healthier. And by the way, it's probably cheaper. Is this not brilliant or what? This is Pamela Anderson I'm talking about here.
it actually, to be honest, that sounds like a great idea.
Brilliant.
It's funny that you bring this up because I was watching a video last night of my favorite YouTuber. And I know you hate that I watch YouTubers, but
come on, man.
She was talking about how she watched the documentary on Netflix called Explain. And she's a fitness YouTuber, and she said, this documentary is the first one that's made me want to try veganism because it's shown me results while also showing me the research behind it with veganism. And she says, you know, it's not even for the whole animal rights, etc. That is a huge issue, but it's also just your genetic makeup and how it just fuels your body for success. So it is something to try, right? I would say go for it. Why not?
I mean, the problem is, who knows how to cook it? I would love to go that route. I really would, except it takes a lot of energy and time. And, you know, we've been conditioned now to open a package and toss it in a pot. And so we're all addicted and reliant on sodium. I would love to be able to shed all of that foolishness. But I don't, you know, how do you cook it on the grill? Like, I just don't know. I don't know. It's too early. I wish we did know. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of people going in that direction. That's why all these fast food giants are rushing towards these no-meat alternatives. So, you know, something certainly on the horizon, that's for sure.
And I think if you're dedicated enough to veganism and to the trial of veganism, you would make that time to learn and then kind of do it through trial and error, right? It's all about conditioning yourself to reteach yourself to have that convenience of time rather than, oh, I can just open a package and be done in 10 minutes rather than 20 minutes. But what you're making in 20 minutes is 10 times healthier for you than what you're making in 10.
But could I also say to all the vegans out there that are listening and going, see, I told you. Listen, more people are more interested in plant-based diets. So it's about time maybe that you don't act so superior and so whatever and help us sad meat eaters and learn how to work with it. So be helpful. Don't be looking down on us, okay?
That's very fair. And one last thing I want to wrap up the show with, Dad. Halloween just passed. Anything about Halloween irritate you?
You know, Halloween irritates me more than anything. Like, what is going on? It seems like every single Halloween, it's the worst weather of the week.
Yeah, last night was terrible.
When was the last time that the kids actually went on a Halloween and it was a nice night and they had a great time and they collected all their goodies and everything was fine? Yesterday, the poor kids, I mean, we had a few on the street and they were running in between raindrops. And I know there was a big fuss in Montreal about some community that decided to not have it last night and are going to have it tonight or tomorrow. And I say, what's wrong with that? Like, are we not at an age right now where we can get the word out to all the people out there? Oh, by the way, crappy weather. We're going to have Halloween tomorrow night. I mean, is this really a big issue? Why can't we do that for the kids? Now, I'm also the same guy. I also believe that, you know what, it's not the end of the world if they're out in the rain, but because they're pretty soft these days. But really, what is the big problem with pushing it off a day to give the little ones a little bit of a break?
That's very fair. Here's my problem with it. And it has nothing to do with the kids. It has everything to do with me.
Right.
Asking me to have that self-control to not eat all that candy because it's left another day is a tall task. Because you saw me this morning when I was trying to leave for work. I raided that candy bucket to find what I wanted to throw it in my lunch bag.
I mean, I guarantee all you clowns will be raiding that thing, and I will be as well. But here's the good news, and this is what parents have to realize. Don't regulate the candy at home. Let your kids, you know, everybody's got to inspect the candy and take a look at your stuff and steal the Tootsie Rolls or whatever you really like. I get that. But then give the kids the friggin' candy bag and let them eat themselves into a coma for a couple days because guess what? Then it's over with.
Right.
The problem is some of these kids they get cavities over time because they're having it all the time. Let them eat their guts out for a couple days. Let them feel sick. Let them, have a tummy ache. And then it's over with.
Okay, but that's rich coming from you because you regulated candy for my siblings and I a few years.
No, the only reason I did that was because some of you were a little smarter than the others. And then when we get all the stuff on the floor, some of you had way more than the others. So basically what I like to do is try to make it all even so everybody didn't feel like they were getting the shaft. And then guess what happened? You guys decided, I don't like this, I'll trade you. You did all the right bartering. And then it was gone in a couple days. And then if somebody was stupid enough not to gorge all their food in a couple days, just one of the sisters stole it anyway. So it was gone within the week. Perfect.
That is true. That is true. See, Easter is the worst one for me because I always lose out in the candy department because I get distracted when searching for eggs. So I never get enough eggs. And two of my sisters are just incredible hunters. They get all the eggs, and my brother and I are just standing there like, oh. So I guess, you know what, Dad? Thank you for that. Thank you for trying to make it even.
I am full of wisdom, and I'm full of fairness. Without you guys even knowing about it.
Yes, I know. As I move into my adult years, I'm finding out you're more wise than I ever thought you were. Finally, somebody realizes. I know, but it's not really that huge of an accomplishment because look at who it's coming from.
I know, I'll take it though.
All right, I appreciate that. And on that note, I think we should wrap up this edition of Daddy Debate. Thank you for joining me, and we'll catch up with you next week.
See you next week.
All right, bye-bye.